All right, yogis, welcome. So we have our Friday afternoon Vinyasa 2 level class for you. It'll be 60 minutes. My name is Kelly. And moving through today's practice, it is called Vinyasa 2, but it will be accessible to all levels. Know that you can always modify however you need for your practice. Take what serves you, leave what doesn't. Definitely don't push yourself into any kind of pain or injury. Yoga should be a healing practice. So from the playlist you might have gathered, it's called Take Flight. We're going to work a little bit on arm balances today. So arm balances in yoga ask for a couple of different things. And you can find restrictions in a couple of different ways in arm balances. So you'll find that some of them are super accessible to you and you're like, oh, this is easy. You might try another one and be like, oh my gosh, I can't do that one at all. But that's okay. Know that you can kind of find those restrictions and start to move forward through them and choose something, and you can usually find a modified variation of the pose. Arm balances, I'll say it once, I've said it again, it takes a lot of core strength, a lot of core stability, a lot of core integrity. So always when you're thinking about taking flight, I want you to imagine that you could pull your navel into your spine, and that's going to make a huge difference as far as power. Arm balances also ask a lot of our wrists, so we'll be doing some wrist stretches today. And again, if your wrists start to feel taxed at any time, maybe skip the arm balance if it's too much, do something different, and maybe try it next time. And the last thing that arm balances ask is a little bit of upper body strength, right? So we find those chaturanga arms. So chaturanga is something that we don't tend to break down a lot because it's hard to hold. But even just as you're sitting here, kind of waiting to start class, you can think about chaturanga arms and plugging your elbows in by your ribs. This is kind of your base or what you balance off of in your arm balances. So kind of find that now, just to kind of get a feel for that. And we'll play with that throughout class. So we need at least one block today if you have access to it. We're going to use it for a wrist stretch. 2 blocks is always great. And you can use something else just that you could push into if you don't have a block, and that'll be just fine. So let's get ready to begin. You can go ahead and start the playlist if you have that keyed up and you'd like to use it. And you're going to lie down on your back. And we're going to start in what's called a constructive rest position. So you're going to bring your feet out a little bit wider, so maybe mats with distance, and you're going to let your knees tent in. So lowering yourself down, you could bring your right hand to your heart, your left hand to your belly if you'd like, or you could keep your arms down by your side. The knees somewhat kiss in, so we have a little bit of internal rotation here. We'll be finding lots of external rotation today, so we'll take a moment just to internally rotate the hips. Because this is Vinyasa 2, and I tend to always run out of time, we're going to somewhat get right into this today. So we're going to start by thinking a little bit about our core and engaging our core and kind of firing it up right from the beginning. So I want you to think of your core as a corset that's squeezing in around your middle. And I want you to think of it in 360 degrees. So it's not just front and back, it's the sides as well. So I want you to imagine as we're doing this first breathing exercise that you could cinch everything in. So we're going to talk a little bit about the tilt of our pelvis. So right now, when everything is relaxed, you should have a little space probably in between your lower back, and that's absolutely fine. So what this is, we're in a little bit of an anterior tilt here of the pelvis, and that's what we want. We're going to take a breath in here, and as you exhale, I just want you to bring your lower back to touch the earth. Now, in order to do that, you're going to hug your navel into your spine, and you're going to take your pelvis into a posterior tilt for a moment. So just feel what that feels like. Hug in the navel, hug in the sides, hug in the lower back to the earth. And then as you inhale, you can release that. And again, we find that anterior tilt. So again, a little space will come behind the lower back. We'll do that a couple times. Inhale here. As you exhale, empty out and then squeeze everything in. Place the lower back against the floor. It's a very small movement here. Beautiful. We'll do it a little faster. As you inhale, release it. And exhale, press it in. Beautiful, we'll do it one more time. Inhale, release it. And exhale, suck it in. Posterior tilt. Beautiful, yogis. Go ahead and release that. So the spine is just basically in neutral here. We'll continue to warm up the hips. Keep your left foot planted for now and just hug your right knee into your chest. You can interlock the fingers around the front of the shin. You can pull the knee in towards the shoulder. You could rotate that hip around a little bit of the joint if you would like. And then perhaps if it would feel good, you can come onto the knife edge of the left foot and let the left knee fall out a little bit. The first chance to have a little bit of external rotation of that left hip. Beautiful. And then from here, you can release the fingers and just kick the right foot up towards the sky. Hold on behind the back of the leg. So this is a stretch for the hamstring. You can flex the toes in towards the face. You could pull it in a little bit, just encouraging the leg in if that feels good. Beautiful. And from here, we're going to have an option to find half happy baby, Ardha Balasana, Ananda Balasana, that is. So the left hand to the inside of the left hip, and if you didn't let your left knee fall out, I would encourage you to do so. It makes it a little easier. And then bend into your right knee, enough so that you can either hold on to the outside of the right foot or even the big toe. If you'd like to bring a little bit more strength in it, walk the hand around to the inside of the foot. So now you're going to encourage that knee in towards the armpit. And again, if you'd like to work a little strength here, I want you to kick your heel in towards your hand. So you'll feel that a little bit more in the hip here. Full breaths. Beautiful, yogis. We'll release that. Bring the left knee back up to center, plant the left foot, and then cross the right ankle over the left thigh. So we found a supine figure four or supine pigeon. We're going to find this shape in a couple different ways today. You can stay where you are, or I would recommend reaching in between the legs, interlocking the fingers around the front of the left shin. You might need to lift up to do that. And then very gently encouraging your left knee in towards your body. So this will take it a little bit more into the hip. Beautiful. Now release the fingers for a moment and hold on behind the back of the leg. So we have a little bit of a challenge here. We're going to attempt to rock ourselves up to seated and maybe find a boat pose. If not, you can just come into seated pigeon. So use your left leg as a lever and begin to rock back and forth. And if you can, see if you can find a balance point and rock yourself up into boat pose with pigeon legs. Hold it for a breath, navel into spine. Beautiful. And then let the left foot come down, hands behind the body. We're going to take a stretch here. So if you'd like, lift up and move your hips a little bit closer to your heel. This will take it a little bit more into that right hip. Just opening those hips. Beautiful, yogis. Now we're going to release that. So let your hips come back, uncross your legs. Plant the feet down about hips width distance. Hands are still behind you, fingertips pointing towards your body. We're going to find a reverse tabletop. Inhale here. As you exhale, lift your hips up. Keep your chin in neutral here. As you inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift up. One more time. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift up. We can hold this time. If you'd like to drop the head back, feel free, but you don't have to. Beautiful. And then slowly lower the hips down. Hold on behind the back of the thighs. Roll yourself back down, and we'll come to the other side. So keep the right sole of the foot planted. This time, hug the left knee in towards the chest. Again, interlocking the fingers around the front of the left shin, right underneath the knee, and moving the hip around in the socket if that feels good. And again, we have that option to come to the knife edge of the right foot and let that right knee fall out any amount. So a little external rotation here. And kind of a half reclined butterfly pose. Beautiful. Now coming into the back of the leg, stretching out the hamstring, lengthen the left leg long, so kicking the heel towards the ceiling, holding on behind the back of the thigh. Flex the toes towards the face. And again, you can gently encourage that leg any amount towards the body, but make sure you're not overdoing it in the hamstrings too early in practice. We do a lot with the hamstrings, so take your time. Again, we have that option for half happy baby. So take the right hand to the inside of the right thigh or hip. If the knee hasn't come out yet, let the right knee come out. And then bend into that left knee, hold on to the outside of the foot, the big toes with the peace fingers, or walk the hands around to the inside of the foot. That'll help create a little bit more strength here. So we're very gently encouraging our left knee towards our left armpit. And then again, if you want a little deeper stretch or a little strength, press your heel back into your hand as you bring your hand into your heel. Beautiful, yogis. We release that, let the right knee come back up to center, and then cross that left ankle over the right thigh. Again, figure 4 or pigeon reclined. Reach in between the legs if you'd like. Interlock the fingers over the front of the right shin. This takes it a little bit more into the hip to start. Again, you're kind of pulling into that shin a little bit to create that stretch across that outside of the left hip. Maybe that's where you're feeling it. Flexing the left toes, always an option if that helps the knee feel safer. And again, we're gonna have that challenge. So undo the hands and maybe hold on behind the back of the thigh. You're gonna use this right leg kind of as a lever, and you're gonna rock back and forth a couple of times. And remember, you can just rock up to seated pigeon here, or perhaps you rock up, find a balance point, and then find your Navasana or boat pose with pigeon legs. Hold for a moment, suck the corset of the core in. Beautiful. And then we let the right foot plant down, hands behind the body. So this is a seated pigeon pose, and you can stay here, or if you'd like it a little bit more intense, lift your hips up and press them forward towards your heel. So that should take that stretch just a little bit deeper. Yogis, we release this by letting the hips come back, uncrossing the legs, plant the soles of the feet down about hips width distance. Again, hands are behind you, fingers are pointing forward or wherever works for your body. Again, we have the option to find that reverse tabletop and stretch it out. Inhale here. As you exhale, lift your hips up. Beautiful. Inhale, lower down, maybe open mouth exhale. One more time. Inhale down. Exhale, really press it up. You can drop the head back if you'd like, but again, you don't have to. Beautiful. And then slowly lower the hips down. You can cross the legs, roll over the knees, or simply sit to the side. We're going to meet in a tabletop position. So this tabletop for today, we're going to keep the toes tucked, and we're going to bring our knees just a little bit wider than we usually would. So we're going to start to activate our hands and our wrists a bit. So fingers are as wide as apart as works in your body. They don't have to be super wide here if that's not comfortable. But what I want you to start to find is the pads of your fingers into the mat. So imagine that you could pull your mat back towards your knees, kind of igniting the whole upper body here. Beautiful. Keeping the toes tucked, from here, sit back into child's pose. Now your hands might need to come a little bit farther forward. But again, I want you to keep everything active here. Can you walk your hands forward and kind of claw into the mat like you could pull the mat back towards your body? Beautiful. And then as you inhale, rise up, come back into tabletop. We're going to warm up those shoulders. Bend just a little bit into the elbows. So this is a modified chaturanga. Lift up and then sit back into child's pose. We're going to kind of move this back and forth. So as you inhale, come back up through tabletop, bend a little deeper into the elbows as you exhale, modified chaturanga, and then inhale, press yourself back up. Exhale, child's pose. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, come forward, keep the hands active here. Exhale, lower down a little bit farther. Inhale, press up. Exhale, sit back, child's pose. Let's Do it one more time. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lower down. Modified chaturanga. Maybe this time the chin and chest touch. As you inhale, lift up. Exhale, sit back, child's pose. Beautiful. Inhale, rise back up. We'll flip the toes over and let the knees come together, and we can sit down onto the heels for a moment. Beautiful. If you'd like to stretch out the tops of your feet, you can bring the hands behind you and gently lift your knees up. Stretches out the shins as well. The stretch doesn't work for everyone, so if it doesn't work for you, no worries. Beautiful, and then slowly lower down. Now this next part, we're gonna need our block. So bring your block close. We're gonna warm up the wrists a bit. First, just take your arms out to the side and just take some wrist circles. Again, we ask quite a bit of our wrists in these practices, especially through our chaturangas and our arm balances. We wanna make sure they're nice and warmed up. Beautiful, stop and take it back the other way. Beautiful, go ahead and stop into the center. Now take your hands out as wide as you can, think of jazz hands. And then as you exhale, bring all your fingers in, make a fist. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, close it in. Beautiful, keep doing this for a moment, maybe speeding up a little bit. It's amazing how quickly this gets really tiring. Beautiful, and then you can gently stop, shake out the wrists for a moment. All right, fun with block. So bring the block in front of you. And then what you're gonna do, you can kind of bring yourself up to the block, make fists with your hands. So what this is gonna stretch out is the extensors in the wrists and the tops of the forearms. You know, a lot of times we spend inflection in yoga, so we're gonna stretch them this way for a moment. It's gonna feel weird, but try it out. So make fists and bring your knuckles into either side of the block. Once you do that, bring the back of your hands to the earth. Now this right here might be enough. I can already feel this. If you can't, then begin to straighten your arms any amount, and then you'll probably feel it. So make sure the backs of the hands are still pressed into the earth as you're pressing the knuckles into the block. Feel that stretch along the top of the forearms. A couple more breaths here. Beautiful, yogis. Let's go ahead and release that. And again, if you'd like to shake out the wrists, feel free. Beautiful. You can set the block off to the side. Blocks are always there and nice if you need them. Let's come back into tabletop for a moment. And before we really start to get moving, we're going to move our spine. We're going to snake it in our cat and cow. So as you exhale, I want you to round the spine and press the earth away. Tilt the tailbone down, posterior tilt. And then as you inhale, drop the belly, look up, tailbone up. This is cow pose, anterior tilt of the pelvis. Beautiful. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift it up, cow. Take a couple more rounds of that on your own breath. I'm gonna still want to warm up my wrists a little bit, so I'm actually gonna turn my hands out and take a couple of rounds like that. This is starting to widen the collarbones across the front of the chest. As fast or as slow as you'd like, it's your breath. And then if this feels okay, I'm gonna offer turning your hands all the way around so your fingers are facing your knees. And take a couple of rounds here. So this really opens the collarbones. One more stretch. Let's stretch out the bottom or the underside of our forearms. Come to neutral and then just slowly lower your hips back any amount. But keeping the hands on the earth, and maybe this stretch is here for you. Beautiful, yogis. Come back forward, flip those hands around. Again, if you'd like to shake the wrists out for a moment before we find our first downward facing dog, feel free. And then as you feel ready, we'll meet in downward facing dog. So walking the hands a little bit forward, tuck the toes, lift the hips up high, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Perhaps the first downward facing dog of the day. Walk it out a bit here if you'd like. And again, activate your hands. hands. So you're using that entire palm and the pads of the fingers, even the finger knuckles on the mat. Imagine that you could grip the mat. Beautiful, yogis. Go ahead and find your stillness here, just warming up the shoulders a bit. As you inhale, roll forward into your plank pose. Articulate through the spine. Take your time here. Once you find plank, the heels are over the toes, the navel is into the spine. You're glancing down or even a little bit forward. Inhale here. As you exhale, bend the knees and then send the hips up high. Come back to downward facing dog. We're going to do this 2 more times. As you inhale, articulate forward, find that high plank. Hug the navel into the spine. As you exhale, bend into the knees, send it back, and then lift your hips up high. You can keep the knees bent here, lengthen the spine. Let's do it 1 more time. As you inhale, roll forward, high plank. Bend those knees. Now press the hands, press the chest back towards the thighs, and then lift the hips up high, downward facing dog. So we're trying to lengthen the tailbone here up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Now as you inhale, look forward in between your hands, come up high onto the tiptoes, travel to the top of the mat however you would like. You can tiptoe, you can step, walk, hop, find your first forward fold or Uttanasana. Bend your knees here. Maybe the stomach is attached to the thighs. You can let the fingertips drag on the floor if that feels good. Maybe let the wrists come down for a moment, or you can hold on to opposite elbow, find ragdoll pose, rock back and forth a couple of times. So allowing the hamstrings to continue to warm up here. Beautiful, yogis. Eventually finding your stillness, let your fingertips come down onto the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. We'll lengthen the spine. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Slide your hands up towards your shins. Lengthen the spine here, lengthen the collarbone. Exhale and fold. Beautiful, we'll do that again. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale and fold. As you inhale, this time root to rise. Circle the arms up and over the top of the head. You can look up. And as you exhale, hands to heart center. This is called Samasthiti. We're going to just go through a couple rounds of Surya Namaskar A. I'm going to do minimal cueing. You guys should know what you're doing here. So take your variation. If you want to skip this part, you can feel free to do that as well. Otherwise, release the arms down by the side and then inhale, circle them up, look up. As you exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step your feet back. Let's find downward facing dog. As you inhale, roll forward to high plank. As you exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, either lower halfway or all the way to belly. As you inhale, you find your back bend. It's cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale in through the nose, open the mouth, exhale and release. Inhale, look forward, prepare. Walk, step or jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms up over the top of the head. And exhale, hands to heart center. Warming up the body, getting the heart rate up a little, release the arms down. Inhale, reach them up. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha. As you exhale, plant the hands. This time, step right back to high plank. Inhale here. As you exhale, lower down, halfway or all the way to belly, Chaturanga Dandasana. As you inhale, your variation of a back bend, cobra or up dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, look forward, prepare. Walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms up over the top of the head. And exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. 1 more full round of Surya Namaskar A. Do what you'd like. Release the arms down. Inhale, reach them up. As you exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, if you'd like, plant the hands, hop back to chaturanga. Make sure that the arms are bent here. As you're ready to inhale, take your up dog or cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful yogis. Inhale, look forward, prepare. Walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms up over the top of the head. And exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. As you move through class, I'll offer your vinyasa. Know that you can take it as you'd like. You could leave it. You can just stay in downward facing dog. You can take cat and cow. It is completely up to you, yogis. Beautiful. We're going to get back to downward dog. So as you inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Take your vinyasa, plant the hands. Maybe you hop back. Again, chaturanga, landing with bent elbows. As you inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. As you inhale, let your knees come down onto the mat and untuck the toes. Now this seems like it's going to be easy, but it's just a little bit of a warm up here. So I'm going to actually stay turned to this side. So lift your right leg up. So three-legged tabletop. Reach the right knee back or right foot back. Inhale. As you exhale, hug your right knee in towards your right tricep. Hold it there for a moment. And then step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. So you've come into lizard lunge. From here, you can bring the chest forward gently. And then keep your left hand down. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. This is easy twist. From here, you can stay in the twist or maybe take an arm circle. Take it to the back first. Maybe stop and take it the other direction, just warming up the shoulder. Beautiful. And then we'll bring that right hand back down to the inside of the right foot and begin to straighten that front leg. So walk the hands back. They stay on the inside of the right leg. So this is half monkey splits, but a little modified because the hands are on the inside. Flex the toes in towards the face. Beautiful. Rebend into that right knee, walk forward. Now, you can stay right here in lizard. You could tuck your back toes if you'd like for a little bit more fire. We're going to take that right arm and try to feed it underneath the right leg. So you can have that right hand now on the outside, but the arm is behind it. And then just lean forward any amount. See if that helps to deepen that stretch in the hip. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and release that. Bring the left knee back down. Shoot that right leg back. Stretch it out. And then bring your right knee back down into your tabletop position. We'll take the other side. As you inhale, lift the left leg up. Reach it back. Beautiful. As you exhale, hug that left knee in towards the tricep. Now we're using the core strength here. Then step that left foot to the outside of the left hand. And again, we found our lizard lunge. So as you inhale, bring your chest gently forward. Right hand stays down, lift the left arm up. Easy twist. Hug the left knee in gently. And then again, you can take a couple arm circles here just to articulate the shoulders out if that feels good. A couple both directions. Beautiful. And then bring the left hand back to the inside of the left foot. Ardha Hanumanasana, a little modified. Begin to straighten that left leg. We keep the hands on the inside. Flex those toes back towards the face. Stretching out the hamstring. Well, yogis, rebending into that left knee, come forward into our lizard lunge. And again, you can stay here. You could tuck the back toes if you'd like a little bit more fire. I'm going to offer allowing you to feed your left arm behind the left leg. So the knee comes into the shoulder, comes around to the outside. Maybe you feel that, and maybe you lean forward just a little bit, opening things up. And if this variation is not for you, then feel free to skip it. Beautiful. Let's release that. Bring the right knee down, untuck the toes, send the left leg back, lengthen it out long. Beautiful. Coming back to tabletop position, tuck your toes, find downward facing dog. We're gonna rinse that out with a vinyasa. Inhale, roll forward into high plank. Chaturanga Dandasana, lower halfway down or belly. As you inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Beautiful yogis, bring your knees down onto the mat for a moment, let the big toes touch. Come back into child's pose for just a couple of breaths. Feel free to towel off or grab a sip of water. This will probably be the only break that I give you for a little while once we start moving. Take a couple breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready to meet me, tuck your toes, come back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. As you inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. So we have a supported low lunge here. Now keep that right knee bent. As you inhale, bring the chest forward. And then as you exhale, keep the knee bent, but rock back a little bit. So this is a small movement. So just rock forward and back for a minute. You'll see why we're doing this. Beautiful. And then we're going to use a little bit of core strength. Plant the hands down on the earth or block. We're going to attempt to step that left knee up to touch the outside of the triceps and then send it back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, send it back. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, send it back. Beautiful. This time, inhale, lift it up, hold it. Now step the left foot down to meet the right, forward fold. A little bit of strength there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms up over the top of the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Utkatasana chair pose. Bring the big toes together, a little space between the heels, bend the knees. Inhale, lift the arms up. So try to tilt that pelvis down just a little bit, engaging the core. Inhale, reach. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. We're gonna find a twist. So left elbow to right knee, gently twist to the right. You can stack the elbows here, palms together. Beautiful. From here, look down to your right toes. Begin to get light in your left foot. Use your core strength. Shoot your left leg to the back of the mat. So we're in twisted crescent lunge. So the left heel is lifted here, left knee up. Beautiful. As you inhale, open the arms up. Right hand towards the ceiling, left hand towards the floor. And then we're just gonna rise up into our open arm twisted crescent warrior. Beautiful. Now as you inhale, arms come center and we're gonna open it up, warrior two. Bend a little bit deeper into that right knee. Beautiful. Flip the front palm, peaceful warrior. Left hand gently down the left leg, right fingertips reaching up. As you exhale, we'll find side angle. Right forearm onto the right thigh, left fingertips reach up. A nice bend in that right knee. We're gonna dance that back and forth a couple times. Dancing warrior sequence. As you inhale, peaceful. As you exhale, side angle. You can reach the arm over the top of the head if you'd like. One more time, inhale, peaceful warrior. As you exhale, side angle. Beautiful. As you inhale, take it up and back, peaceful. As you exhale, windmill the hands down to the inside of that right foot. Turn your left heel up. So we've come back into our lizard lunge. We'll only be here for a moment. Beautiful. Now from here, again, get light on that left foot and step it forward. We're gonna find yogi squat. If yogi squat is not for you, know that you could sit on a block or stay up a little bit higher if you'd like. We have options here. So this is our first arm balance choice, or if you don't want to arm balance, you can just stay here in whatever form of balasana you'd like, or do whatever you actually want, because I can't see you anyway. So we have a choice here to do crow pose or bakasana. So I'm going to demo it a little bit for you this first round. Know that if crow pose is usually inaccessible for you, sometimes standing on a block will give you space and make a huge difference. So I'm going to kind of show that here. You can also have a block or pillows for underneath the forehead if you're afraid you're going to do a face plant. So our wrists are nice and warmed up. We're going to find those chaturanga arms. So the big thing with crow or bakasana is to remember we're not trying to lift up. We're actually going forward in space. So find chaturanga arms, Squeeze the knees in towards the arms. Now, it doesn't matter where the knees are. They might end up on the back of the triceps. They might end up in the armpits. Mine are kind of on the outside of my legs. I look forward. My chin is lifted. This is key. Keep the chin lifted here. And just begin to rock yourself forward. If you're on a block, maybe the toes stay touched down. You can measure that block out in front so it's on your forehead, if that makes you more comfortable. And try any amount of finding flight. If you don't find flight, no worries. Maybe just one toe lifts. Maybe play with the other. A couple more breaths here. Eventually, we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. So if you're really skilled at crow pose, practice your ninja escape, perhaps shooting the legs back and taking a vinyasa. Or simply stepping back, taking a vinyasa, rinsing it out. Again, we meet in downward facing dog. We'll all meet there with a unifying breath. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale and release. Beautiful. Other side, as you inhale, lift that left leg up, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. We have supported low lunge here. Beautiful. Bringing that chest forward just a little bit here and breathe for a moment. And again, we find that rock back and forth. So the heel comes back, the left knee stays bent here. We're just warming up, we're building a little bit of momentum. And then as you're ready, 3 times, bring that right knee up to meet the right tricep and then shoot it back. As you inhale, bring it up. Exhale, shoot it back. One more time, inhale, bring it up. Exhale, shoot it back. I lied, this is the last time. Inhale, bring it up, hold it. And then bring that right foot down and fold. Woo. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms up over the top of the head. And exhale, hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Utkatasana chair pose. Big toes together, a space between the heels. Bend into the knees, sit down, find chair pose. This time we bring our right elbow to our left knee. So hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach. As you exhale, twist. Right elbow, left knee. You can gaze up towards the ceiling. Try to stack the elbows here. Get a little bit deeper. Beautiful. And then glance down towards your left foot. Begin to get light in that right foot. Shoot it all the way to the back. So we find our twisted crescent warrior. From here, we open our arms, floor to ceiling. Take a couple breaths. And then use your core strength. As you inhale, rise up, twisted crescent warrior. Press the back of the right knee up towards the sky. Inhale here. As you exhale, open it up, warrior 2. Bend a little bit deeper into that left knee. Beautiful. From here, flip the front palm, peaceful warrior. Right hand gently down the right leg, left fingertips lift up. As you exhale, side angle, left forearm onto the left thigh, right arm reaches up. And again, we're gonna dance this out. So inhale, peaceful warrior, keep that front knee bent. As you exhale, side angle. Feel free to find extended Utthita if that feels better. As you inhale, take it up and back, peaceful. As you exhale, side angle. Beautiful. As you inhale, take it up and back, peaceful warrior. And as you exhale again, we find side angle, maybe extended. From here, both hands come to the inside of that left foot. Turn your right heel up. You can toe heel the left foot out a little bit. And when you're ready, we're going to step forward into that yogi squat or malasana. So again, lots of options here. This is our second time to play with crow pose. Or if you just like to stay in a more yin version of malasana, feel free to do that. You can take a bind, you can open your arms and twist. If you'd like to play with your crow pose, feel free to do that. This time I'll show it without a block. So again, you lift up a little bit, you look forward. And then another key point that I didn't mention in the first time is you want to keep your glutes and your heels close together. So you're not trying to bring your booty way up to the sky. This is a completely different pose. This is a crow. Actually, your booty is low, right next to those heels. Squeeze the knees in, hold yourself. The fingers grab onto the floor like brakes. And you can hold this, you can step down, you can step your feet back, you could shoot your feet back, take a vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Be here for 5 breaths, just letting the heart rate slow down. Nice deep breaths in through the nose. Maybe exhaling through the mouth. Take a little bit of time to let the heart rate come down. Beautiful yogis. We all meet in downward facing dog in case you took a break. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale and release. Inhale, look forward, prepare. Walk, step or jump to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale to rise, arms up over the top of the head. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Again, sit down into those heels. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. As you exhale, hands come heart center. And again, we find that twist. Left elbow, right knee. Now you can stay exactly where you are here, or you have the option to get light into the heels and bring yourself all the way down into twisted toe squats. Now, you can stay exactly where you are, or if you'd like to play with side crow, I'm going to turn to the side to give you a demo here. So you're going to bring your hands down to the side, and you're going to find those chaturanga arms. You're going to use those chaturanga arms. Now, you have the option to use just the front elbow with the right elbow out to the side, or use both. I like to use both to start. It's a deep twist here. And again, if you'd like to play, lift up a little bit, bring yourself onto your shelf, lean forward, chin is lifted. Maybe you play with side crow. If it gets easy, you can kick your bottom leg forward, your back leg or your top leg to the back. Play with that a little bit, or maybe you're still in twisted toe squats. Eventually, when you're done playing, we'll all meet in our twisted toe squats, and then we'll begin to lift back up into our twisted chair. Beautiful. Look down, get light into that left foot, and send it all the way to the back of the mat. Again, we find our twisted crescent, open up the arms, and then as you inhale, rise up, twisted crescent, warrior. And as you inhale, lift your right arm up, we find our crescent warrior to the front. Beautiful. From here, straighten both legs. This should feel good. We're going to find a floating pyramid. Bring your arms back, fold forward about halfway. Now that back heel can still be lifted here. So this is floating pyramid pose. Beautiful. And then from here, bring your right hand to the front of your right ankle, turn your left heel down, lift your left arm up. We've come into triangle pose. Inhale here. Beautiful. We're going to take that left arm and we have the option to bring it into a half bind behind the back, turning that left chest or the top of the left chest open. And then from here, begin to bend into your right knee. Maybe your right hand finds the floor. So we come into side angle pose, a little bit deeper this time. Right hand could be on a block if you prefer. And then release that left arm, let it reach up. Look forward of your right toes. Move your hand forward, lift your left leg up, half moon. Now right hand could be on a block here, or you're just lifting up into Ardha Chandrasana. We'll only be here for a moment. Beautiful. Then we bring the left hand down. Turn your left hip down for a moment. We're going to counter that by taking revolved Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. So left hand stays down on the mat or a block. Lift your right arm up. Revolved half moon. One breath here. Beautiful. As you exhale, right hand comes down. Walk the hands back, frame the right foot. This is standing splits. This is a nice stretch. Well, yogis, don't worry, I'll give you another stretch. Bend a little bit into that right knee. Let your left toes land down at the back of the mat, and then kick your right leg back and up, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, open the hip for a moment. And then inhale, reach the right leg long. As you exhale, right knee comes towards the right wrist, right ankle to the left wrist. We're gonna find pigeon pose for just a moment. So this is just to stretch that out. We won't be here long. Maybe you stay lifted here. The closer your heel is into your body, the less you'll get into the hip, but if that's safer for your knee, that's fine. If you'd like to fold forward for a couple of breaths, feel free to do so. Beautiful yogis, walking your hands back under your shoulders, tuck your left toes, send your right leg back and up, shake it out a little bit. And here we have the option to take a vinyasa, or you can just simply wait in downward facing dog. We inhale, look forward, prepare. Walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms up over the top of the head. As you exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Bring the hands right to the heart center. We twist the other direction this time. So right elbow, left knee. Taking that twist, and then again, we have the option to let the heels get light and sit down into twisted toe squats. You can stay here. You can actually bring the hands forward and the knees out if you want a little rest. Or Parsvabhakasana or side crow if you would like. Same as the other side. You might find it different on this side. So again, the shelf with the arms. This time I'll show with just one arm holding. So beginning to tip forward and holding yourself up. This could be the challenge if using both arms gets easy for you. So play with side crow if you'd like. Don't if you don't want to. If you've had enough, that's absolutely okay. And then eventually we'll all meet in that twisted toe squat. We'll use some strength to lift up into twisted chair. And then look down at those left toes and shoot that right leg all the way back to the back of the mat. So twisted crescent. Open the arms up. And then inhale, rise up, twisted crescent warrior. As you inhale, arms come up over the top of the head, high crescent. And then let's stretch it out. As you exhale, straighten that front leg. Find your pyramid pose, floating pyramid. So we only fold halfway here. The arms wing back. That right heel can be lifted. Take a couple breaths here. From here, we open into triangle. So let that right heel come down, left hand to the inside the left leg, circle the right arm up. Find expansion here for a couple of breaths in triangle pose or Trikonasana. When we bring that right arm around the back of the body, we can find a half bind if you'd like. Begin to bend into your left knee. Left hand can travel to the floor or a block here. It's a little deeper variation of side angle. Beautiful, and then we'll release that right arm up towards the sky. Look forward, maybe move your left hand a little bit forward or to a block. We're gonna come up into Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. So your right hip is open here, your toes pointing towards the side. Can you find expansion? And again, absolutely okay to have that left hand on a block. Inhale here. As you exhale, right hand comes down, turn your right toes down. So we're closing off that right hip. We're gonna counter it by taking revolved half moon. So this time the right hand stays down. As you inhale, lift the left arm up. Beautiful, bring the left hand down, walk the hands back. We're in standing splits just for a moment here. Beautiful, and then that nice reprieve. Bend into that left knee, let the right toe step all the way to the back of the mat, and then kick your left leg back and up, three-legged dog. And right away we come into our half pigeon pose. So left knee, left wrist, left ankle, right wrist to the best of your ability, untuck the toes. Again, you can stay a little lifted here. This is just to stretch the outer hip because you're probably feeling it. I'm feeling mine. You can stay lifted or you could fold forward if you'd like. If this pose gives you trouble, we did a seated pigeon at the beginning or one on the back, you could always take that instead. Definitely wanting to take care of the knee here. Beautiful yogis. From here, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your right toes, shoot your left leg back and up, shake it out a little bit. Again, we have an option here just to come back to downward facing dog or take a vinyasa, flow it out here, getting rid of all that lactic acid. We meet in our downward facing dog. So if you're feeling tired here and just cashed in, you might just walk your hands back to your feet and find a forward fold for a moment. You still have a little gas in the tank and you'd like a challenge. You're going to bring your right knee in towards your chest and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So this is this figure 4 shape that we found before. We're just finding it in down dog. I know it's a little weird, but try it out. From here, if you'd like that challenge, a little bend in the left knee, but again, walk the hands back towards the feet. Once you get here, see if you can begin to rise up. So we rise up into what's called devotional pose. So we have our right ankle crossed over our left knee. And if you just walked back to forward fold, you could lift up and find devotional pose if you would like. And we can stay exactly here. Or again, if you have a little gas left in the tank, I'm going to show you one more arm balance that you can play with. So this is Ekapada Galavasana, or flying pigeon pose. So you can come down and maybe just bring your fingertips to the floor. Maybe that's as far as you come. If you're feeling feisty, walk the hands a little forward. Remember, it's the forward momentum we need, not up. Walk the hands forward. Bring the shin onto the back of the elbows. Again, chaturanga the arms and see if you can balance. Maybe you can kick your left leg back. Ekapada Galavasana, flying pigeon. Play with that for a moment or don't. Eventually, we all meet in forward fold. Beautiful yogis. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Take the dog for a walk. Come back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out for a moment. And again, we'll have that option to walk back with our legs already in figure 4, or you could just walk your hands back to your feet. Either are a challenge. If you'd like that challenge, bend into the left knee, cross the left ankle over the right thigh this time. A little bend in that right knee, walk the hands back. And again, bend that right knee and see if you can rise up into your devotional pose. It's also sometimes called temple. Maybe you stay here and this is enough for you. This is a great outer hip stretch. It's a runner stretch that gets done a lot. And again, one more option here to try our flying pigeon or Ekapada Galavasana. If you can bring the hands down. Maybe you just want that deeper stretch. Otherwise, from here, the key is walk the hands forward, away from you. So you give yourself somewhere to go as you come forward. Then maybe you lift the right toes up. Maybe you kick the right leg back. If you get really good at this, then bend into the right knee, bring the right knee into the right shoulder, and you find half crow, half Ekapada Galavasana. Beautiful. Wherever you are when you're done playing, just bring yourself out and find a forward fold. From here, bounce out the knees a little bit. Whew. Lots of arm balances today. Beautiful yogis. And one last time, we'll take our dog for a walk. You have a choice here to rinse this out with a final vinyasa if you would like. Rolling forward, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog, let it feel good. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Bringing the knees down onto the mat, sit down on the heels, walk the hands back in towards the body. And then sit off to one or the other side and bring your legs out in front of you. Lengthen them out for a moment and just bounce them out. Little massage if you need. We did a lot pretty quickly. All right, let's find some nice stretches. So bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees come out wide. This is Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. You can hold on to the outsides of the feet if you would like. Maybe bounce out the knees if that feels good. As you inhale, lift your chest up. And then as you exhale, gently just begin to tip forward. Try not to lose the integrity of the spine here. So we're keeping the length here to start. Notice you don't go very far. Now as you like, round the spine. Spine inflection, and you can let the arms come down. Or maybe you hold on underneath the legs if you'd like. This is a variation of tortoise pose. Do what feels good in your body. Cobbler's pose is holding on to the outsides of the feet. Beautiful, yogis. Gently begin to rise up. We're going to take a couple more stretches here because we're nice and open. So know, of course, these are all optional. And listen to my cues for this, right or left. I'm not going to attempt to mirror you because I'll end up getting all confused. So I won't look like you, but the cues will be the same. So keeping your left foot where it is, I want you to start to bring your right shin in towards your body. And we're going to kind of cradle it like a baby. So you can bring your right foot into the crease of your left elbow, maybe your right knee into the crease of your right elbow, and then just sort of rock back and forth here. Now this might be enough for you. This is a nice outer hip stretch, or if you'd like, hold on to your right foot and then see if you can feed that right arm underneath the right knee. We did this earlier in class. And then maybe you bring the right hand down. If you'd like to play a little bit here, we did Bird of Paradise last week. This is called Bird on the Floor. Bring your left arm around your back and then hold the hands together and maybe kick your right leg up. So this is actually Bird of Paradise. We're just doing it in a different orientation. So it works for your body. Feel free to try it. You can even challenge yourself by lifting your left leg up. Beautiful, yogis. Enough of that. Let's release it. Again, hold on to your foot. So again, we're nice and open here. This is an option. If it doesn't work in your body, I want you to find an easy seat or sukhasana. Otherwise, see if you can bring the right knife edge of your foot up into your left hip crease. We're going to move towards either lotus or half lotus. So here's the deal. If you can get your foot into your hip crease and you can get your right knee on the floor, that means you're ready for full lotus. If your knee is still up, you're not ready. Then I want you to stay in half lotus. If the knee is down, then bring the left crease of the, or knife edge of the foot into the crease of the right thigh and find your lotus pose. Hands could stay down by the side. You still have some fire and you're feeling it. You can see if you can lift up here. Play as you'd like. Beautiful. Go ahead and release whatever variation you've taken. Then we'll lengthen the legs out and again, shake them out. We'll do that on the other side. So bring the right leg in, so it's like a half butterfly pose. And again, we'll hug that left knee in. So like that baby, you're rocking it. This should feel good. If it doesn't, do something that does feel good. Yoga should feel good. You can have a challenge, you can have intensity, but we don't want pain and excruciation. That's not fun. Staying here, or if you'd like, feeding that arm through, and imagine that you can kind of put your left leg on as if it were your backpack. This always makes me think of Dora the Explorer. I want to say backpack, backpack. Anyway, so the left arm can come out here. Maybe you stay here, just hanging out. Or if you'd like to try that bird on the floor, bring your hand around, thumb faces down. So that half bind, and then maybe the left hand comes around to reach and clasp, and you can begin to straighten that left leg out. So working Bird of Paradise, but on the floor, and again, if you still have a little gas in the tank and you want a core challenge, you can lift your right leg up. Beautiful. Releasing that, bring the right leg back down. Again, we'll have the chance to try half lotus on this side. So bring the knife edge of the left foot up into that right hip crease. Remember, my test is here. Can I get my left knee on the floor with no pain? If I can, that's a green light. You can collect $200 and pass. Bring the right foot up. lotus pose. Maybe you're in half lotus, maybe you're in Siddhasana with the heels even, maybe you're just taking an easy Sukhasana. You can find whatever you like here. Again, if you want, you can practice lifting, maybe even bringing blocks underneath the hands to give yourself a little space. I know it's unfair, my arms are really long, so I make this look easy, but it's actually not. So you can bring blocks underneath the hands if your arms are a little bit shorter. Beautiful. We don't usually hold lotus for too long because it's pretty intense. So as you're ready, gently unwind the legs. Let the legs stretch out long. And again, a little bounce of the knees here, a little massage. And then as you're ready, plant the soles of the feet onto the earth. Pull down behind the back of the thighs and roll yourself down. We're going to begin, or we're going to end as we began. So find constructive rest. So bring your feet out about mat's width distance and let your knees tent in for a moment. This not only neutralizes the spine, but it's going to internally rotate the hips. We've done a lot of external rotation today. Beautiful yogis. I invite you to stay exactly where you are here. You can also windshield wipe the legs if that feels good. Eventually finding your way to your final Shavasana. And maybe that's staying in constructive rest, or maybe that's letting the legs lengthen out for a moment. Just letting the arms come back down to the sides and releasing down onto the mat. Just breathe here, let the earth support you. We did a little bit of a level 150 class today. So hopefully you had some fun, tried some things out. Maybe you fell on your face, it's all good. I've done that a million times. A lot of us get caught up in seeing these still pictures of yogis on Instagram or Facebook in these amazing postures. What you don't realize is they probably did that 100 times and fell out of it before they got that one shot. The other thing is maybe they held it for 1 second, and maybe they can only do it on one side. So we all have our challenges here, and it doesn't really matter. The yoga is the journey. The yoga is your dedication to staying even when it gets hard, and being able to just continuously practice with where you are and accepting where you are. Relaxing in your final Shavasana. I have a final reading for you. This is from Journey to the Heart. This book is by Melody Beattie. I read out of this book a lot. So this one is called There's Magic in the Unknown. Sometimes we're out of ideas. We think and think, but nothing comes. We don't know what's next. It feels like we're at a dead end, but we're not. That void, that dreaded blank spot is really a glorious, magical place. Sometimes we have to run out of ideas before we can open to any new ones. The reason we can't see any further is because our ideas are limited by the past, by past experiences, by what life has been like before. Our future doesn't have to be limited by our past. Life knows that. We can learn it too. We're not at a dead end. We've reached a new beginning. Now is a time of magic. Let the universe take your hand and show you things you have never seen before. Now at last, you're open and vulnerable enough to begin. Celebrate the magic, the mystery of the unknown. Celebrate the miracles that will certainly come. Yogis, I invite you to stay in your final Shavasana if you would like today, just taking your time, taking a little bit of time for yourself, relaxing. If you'd like to be led out of your practice, begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, starting to reawaken the body. Eventually, as you'd like, you can take this into a full body stretch, reaching the arms up over the top of the head. Eventually transitioning onto your left or right side, whichever is calling to you this evening. Use your bicep as a pillow, find fetal position. It's always important not to skip this part. Just let everything kind of reorient. I always like to say this is the first posture that we learn. As you feel called or ready, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, we'll close out our practice together. So today we can find Anjali Mudra if we'd like, so palms together. Press your thumbs into your sternum into your thumbs. You can close your eyes. I'm going to end with a mantra to all teachers out there, all of the teachers that I have had through my life that have been amazing for me, and some of the most unlikely teachers that you ever think teach you the most. So Om Namo Gurude Namo translates as the teacher in me sees and honors the teacher in you. We all have something to learn from one another. Be open to doing so, yogis. Namaste.